Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Sheena Kantar and Ziryeb. And we're here to talk about, I sounded really formal. I'm not trying to be really formal. We're literally looking at, so Ziryeb reads the Quran and I get influxes of the Bible coming through. And I also learned about the science and have been studying the mind for 12 years. And we're putting it all together. And every single piece of thing that I read, no matter what book I'm reading, it doesn't really matter what it is, it's all pointing to the same truth of who we are. So we thought we would just we've had great discussions over WhatsApp, so we thought we'd share them, like what those conversations are. So Zareb sends me something from the Quran and I just go, oh. And one of the things that we studied together, we've studied thinking into results together. And, I realize that it's like a matrix on your head and you can slot everything in, because sometimes we read something and we don't know how to live it. And it is the demonstration that is needed, not the knowledge. The knowledge is just to help you with the demonstration. And so how do we demonstrate what we read? And that's what we're here for, What else can I say? Zareb, you can say whatever you need to say.
Yes, absolutely, Sheena. And the main idea behind everything is one. So thanks to what you taught me with the thinking into results, and that this matrix changed completely my life. And applying it to something which is resonate on me, like the Quran, is really amazing. And everyone who is watching this video can apply thinking into results in his life and is his way. So that's what's amazing with thinking into results and within the scriptures.
That's very much it's like it has to be your way. You are your only savior. Like there isn't anybody else. I mean, I thought there was somebody going to come and save me. And I realized that, whenever my son wasn't so good and I had to say to him, no one's coming to save you. And I had to actually realize that nobody was coming to save me either. So all those crappy thoughts we might have in our head, well, you're the one thinking them, and you're
Yeah.
the one who can stop thinking them. And nobody is coming to save you. Like it sounds a bit futile or whatever, but actually it is your freedom.
You choose your heaven or you choose your hell. You
And I
have this,
can lead, yeah, we can lead people to water, but we can't force them to drink. Like you got to do the drinking, don't you?
yeah. And that's what we do with this video. So
So
it
I'm going to let Zareb start with what he sent me this morning, and I was off on a wee tangent. It was great.
perfect. Yeah. And I just asked for it. Um, Perfect. So let's go. 12. It is about one chapter called Luqman. Luqman, who was a wise person, and the Quran talk about him. And this wise person give advice to his son. So the 12th verse is like this. And indeed we bestowed upon Luqman, saying, give thanks to God, and whatever give thanks, and whoever gives thanks, he gives thanks for his own self. And whoever is unthankful, then verily God is all rich, means free of all wants. God is worthy of all praises, of all praise. So that reminds me your introduction now. When you think when you think God, you are thinking yourself, and you are connected to your ownness, to your oneness, and that is your power. So everything you have to do is to find your power, which is the power of God and which is the power of yourself.
I find it really amazing, actually, that, because it really was. And in fact, all the verses that you go through here talk about the me. And what it's very much saying here, give thanks to Allah, and whoever gives thanks, he gives thanks for his own self. I mean, it is really, really important. I mean, that's one of the things that hit me whenever I thought of the first law of the commandment was, thou shalt not put any gods in front of me. And all of a sudden I heard the word me stand out like a big, it just shot through. And I thought, well, who is this me? who is this me that we're talking about? And then when we look in scientific terms, we're nothing but a bundle of energy. We're light itself, the oneness that you're talking about, isn't it? That
Absolutely.
oneness. And so then that led me to the story of, lesson 3 that we do in Thinking into Results. It's all about the stories we have. And we're that busy maybe giving to other people and doing things for other people. And haven't you noticed that you're always, if your house isn't clean and then somebody comes, my goodness, you clean it up. So you clean it up for other people, but you don't clean up your house for yourself. Like, as my mum used to say to me, she'd say, God, sure, you don't even see your own muck, do you? But that's what
Yeah,
it's like in our heads as well. So we would never dream of speaking to somebody else being rude. But I used to walk past the very mirror and go, ugh, look at you. Like,
yeah,
that's what we're talking about here, isn't it? So for me, it's lesson 3 is the stories that are going on in our head. And I just love that. Give thanks to Allah, and whoever gives thanks, he gives thanks for his own self, worthy of all praise. Like, it's, to me, that's incredible.
yeah. That's incredible, and that's why I shared for you with you, because for me it was related what you taught us, and I read it before, but I never understand it this way. And for me was amazing, because you put yourself in the center, and you teach us also, Sheena, that you can't serve two masters. So finally, serving the only one master is also serving yourself first. So that's why I want to share it with you and all people watching this video.
It's great. It's so, if anybody's watching this, it's so important. And it's not being selfish, and it's not being, in fact, you have to be selfish to be self-full so you can be selfless. Because when you're so busy thinking about yourself because you haven't got this and you haven't got that, because you didn't even bother to praise yourself or think that you were worthy of praise, and how so many people will say, oh, money doesn't matter, or this doesn't matter. And I just go, well, you're just depleting yourself. You're just depleting yourself, and then you give that to somebody else. Well, that's just an insult. We can only
Yeah,
grow from where we are, appreciation of ourselves. And I love this, worthy of all praise. And whoever is unthankful, then verily Allah is all rich, free of all wants. Oh my goodness. Sorry if I'm still talking on, but the verse that came through to me this week was, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And so studying Neville Goddard, he teaches us to say, like, think of the Lord as the law. So the law, what is it? The Lord is my shepherd. So the law is my guidance. The law of the universe, what I think, I become. And the law is actually your guidance. It is your comforter. Because if you follow the law, then you'll know that you don't want anything, because your very vibration of you is bringing you what you don't get. What you want, you get what you are being.
yeah.
And so this me is a vibration. Well, what's my vibration? How
You
would you
attract.
describe vibrations, Arab?
Sorry, Sheena?
How would you describe vibration?
Like a vibrational state, like that, without thinking. For me, it's like vibrational state. So in my vibration, I also awareness. So you attract in which vibration you are. So for me, it's like emotional state, vibrational state. That's it. I don't know what you think about it.
Well, it's like, to me, it's a frequency that you're on, that you're tuning into. So are you tuning into, poor me, or are you tuning into rich me? And we have to
Yeah,
switch those radio stations. Sheena did poor me for way too long. She didn't realize she was doing it, because, I've done really well in my life, but I did not realize. And as you know, more and more and more, you get away with less and less and less. You're
and less
actually
is more.
you actually have to really be disciplined in your thinking. And the first bit goes, to thank yourself, you're worthy of all praise. I mean, that's just brilliant. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah,
Number
and
13.
it's very important. It is about the discipline of the to be thankful. It's not just to be thankful or to there is discipline behind. And when you told me about it, I think 1 month ago, it was very something that it shaked me, because you have to be disciplined.
But discipline when we were children was hard, but this discipline is
Freedom.
self, I want to do it because it is my freedom. I have less thoughts. I choose my thoughts. And then if anything happens that doesn't correspond to those thoughts, I go back to my thoughts and I go, when did I not do that? These are the only thoughts that I'm allowed to think. I am not allowed to think any other thoughts except the thoughts that I have chosen to think. And sometimes we fall asleep and we're off in somebody else's problems, or something happened down the road that's got nothing to do with us, and we're trying to fix it in our head, and then we wonder, oh, well, then that got reflected back to me too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's a standard. It's related also of your standard, the discipline of your standard and of your thoughts. So you just say about it, and it's related also with this verse. It's about self-image. It's like everything is serving a human, and human serve God. So that's why, as you talk, we don't speak bad with other people. So why we are doing it with ourselves? And I didn't share it, but the verse before it was saying that everything is serving God. Everything is serving humans. The nature, everything is to serve us. So just be in your place, which is like everything is serving you, and serve yourself first.
And when you do that, you naturally serve other people because you're so full of yourself. Like, who else would you be full of? Like, people think that's wrong to be full of self, but most people who act ego, a horrible full of yourself because they're being horrible to other people, they're not full of themselves. In fact, they are very, very less of themselves. They are so lacking in confidence, it is unbelievable. Because somebody is full of themselves has no need to boast. And in fact, isn't that something that says one of these verses down here about boasting? Didn't it say?
Yes, it is.
Can't find the word now.
Yeah, and turn not your face away from men with pride. I don't know if it's 18 and 19.
Okay, have a look at that. We might as well go there since we said it.
Yeah. So we can talk about 18. And turn not your face away from men with pride, nor walk in insolence through the earth. Verily, God likes not each arrogant boaster. 19. And be moderate in your walking, and lower your voice. Verily, the harshest of all voices is the voice
of the ass. Which is basically what it is. Those people who are talking,
Yeah.
and they're not listening. They're so busy. They're just, to me, I use people, people turn their nose up at them, but to me, it's like, I feel more love for them, because I go, my goodness, they're lacking in confidence. They're so lacking in confidence that they have to be louder than everybody else. And, when it says about boasting, what I noticed is what we take credit for when things go our way, and then we blame God for whenever things, why would God allow this? Well, you're the one who's been given dominion over the earth here. This is what's going on in your mind. It's like say you were given a gold coin. This is your life, and you were given this gold coin, and you've forgotten to look at the king side of it. You just look at the other side of it, and it's got all dirty. In fact, the whole coin is dirty. So even if you turned it around, you wouldn't be able to see the other side of the coin anyway. But because the coin was given to us beautiful and shiny and perfect, and our thoughts have defaced it, our programming has defaced it. And so even if we turned it over, we can't see it. But there's two sides to every coin, but what side are we focusing on? And if we can clear up our thoughts, then we shine the coin a little bit more, and maybe we can start to focus on this. We are human and God at the same time. It comes as a package. There's two sides, but it comes as a package. But we haven't been devalued. It just looks like it.
Yeah.
But we have to take the responsibility for for everything that's going on, but yet it's not our responsibility. But that's a whole other story, you know. But boasting to me is like, pride comes before a fall, and you didn't you didn't do it. It's kind of funny. What are your thoughts? I know where I'm
Yes,
going with it, but it might confuse people if I carry on.
this for me it is like it's like lack of understanding when you do that. So you are not connected to your oneness. So you think you are doing something outside of the matrix or outside of the will of God. So it's related also to worship one. And if you worship one, you worship yourself. And if you master, you serve your God, you have to master yourself and master your thinking. So for me, it's like both things, like outside of thinking or outside of the oneness. It's like devil inspiration to be outside of to think to be outside of the will of God.
It is. It's kind of funny. So if we think, so some people have said to me, "Going, you're not God," and I'm just going, well, if everything is God, and this is a point of contention with some people, isn't it? Like, so if everything is one, and we're told that in science, we're told that everything comes from the one thing. So
Yeah,
whether you call that God, whether you call it Allah, whether you call it source, whether you call it the creative intelligence, it doesn't really matter because everything is one. So like the ray of sun, would you say that's separate to the sun, or is it comes from the sun? It's all the sun, but the ray cannot exist without the sun. But the sun doesn't have to have a ray.
yeah,
But yet the sun shines regardless, and so the ray is there anyway. And so if all is one, then who else could you be? So if you think you're somebody else and you know better than God, well, then that must be that you must be another God. Then I remember you writing to me
yeah,
one time, you said there's a difference between thinking you're a God and God. Whereas if you think you're separate,
yeah.
you just put yourself on a pedestal above God, going, hey, listen, mate, I know better. You're doing a crap job here. So let me just go out here and do my own thing. And
Let's
look at
fix
me.
it.
Aren't I brilliant? And then when things go wrong, you go, freaking hell, God, is this the best you can do?
Have Yes, I understand it. Like it's like you have the power, but be aware of your like you say, part of God and part of a human.
It's having them work together, isn't it? I
Yeah,
see
it's
people with,
balance.
yeah.
It's like balance.
Mm. I've seen people with who done personal development have gone into like a spiritual ego, and so the spirit is really big and they know it all, but their humanness is very weak, and so they think, oh, I shouldn't have this, I shouldn't have that, I shouldn't have the other, but that's not what it says in the Bible or the Quran. So then you have people who are really maybe personally developed so much that their ego is so big and their spirit is weak because it's covering everything, and I will do everything, I make everything happen. And what I have found, because I've been on both sides, is that, well, there's you're working together here. This is the marriage.
Yeah,
This is the marriage that we're talking about here, and about us working together. That I love how Abraham Hicks says that we're on the leading edge, but we're being guided. So on the human side, it looks like we're a leader when we follow the spirit, but really we are the spirit guiding the human. It's the paradox.
yeah,
It's the paradox, and it's about being able to live in that space that you're being guided, yet you're directing. It's kind of weird.
yeah. And like it's related about what Bob said. You are spirit, living in a physical body and using intellect.
Mm.
So just be aware of it. And if you balance this way, if you go too much in that way, you are going to be balanced. So so that's, I understand why the verse come after this, after the 12 that we read, because you need balance.
And one of like relating it to thinking into results, lesson 11 is about leaving others with the impression of increase. And some people might think, well, that means I should be shouting about myself and telling everybody that how brilliant I am. But it couldn't be further from the truth, because leaving others with the impression of increase sometimes is saying nothing.
Yeah.
And being in the unconditional love and helping them feel better and letting them talk and letting them, say what their life is. And then that leaves that, whenever we allow people to talk, we give them a gift. It doesn't mean we let them talk about their problems, though. That's not a gift. That's letting them wallow in their own problems, helping them see a different side of themselves. So it was all quite interesting. I loved the whole thing. I don't know if there's anything else in there that you want to touch on, Ziryeb?
Yeah, for me it's about like also the lesson 11, I think, about leader and follower. So you have to be aware that you are at both time leader. It means that and as leader of your destiny, of your thought, you have to master your thought, and at the same time you are the follower of the one, the only one. So that's for me.
Yeah, we're both at the same time, aren't we? I mean, there's some more interesting things in there, but my goodness, we'd be going on forever. We've already gone on over time. One of the last things, just to say that I don't know where it came from, but it was about this me vibration, and when we're suffering is because we're further away from the me that you are. So if you're suffering, that's a sure sign to tell you to love yourself more, to get back to self, to get back to me. So love, the only way I have found to do that is love, gratitude, and forgiveness. And then it reminded me of Ho'oponopono. So it's, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And then I realized, oh, look at it, even see how everything is working together to say the same thing. It just came from a different angle. And you could be taught so much over here, but then you read it over here and it's going, oh my God, look, it's saying the same thing. It's all saying the same thing.
Absolutely, I love it. So you have to
final words.
To be aware of yourself is to forgive yourself, to be aware of your greatness, your power, and to master yourself. And that's what we learn with thinking into results.
Absolutely. It's changed my world, that's for sure. So
mine too.
If anybody wants to have a chat, I'll put I'm sure Ziryeb, contact Ziryeb, contact myself, and yeah, have a good day. And remember these words, I'm sorry. Although I'm not really quite sure about the sorry bit, but never mind, please forgive me. I love you and thank you, and have a good day.
Have a good day.